right, let's call the meeting to order if we could, please. The first order of business would be minutes. Actually, two sets of minutes. One from the March 3 meeting and the March 17th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve both sets of minutes.
Thank you, Sam. Second by Jerry Hahn. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? The motion will carry. Next should be your bills list and your transfers. Notice on the bills list, on the additional bills list, the EMS has a power cot, I guess a loader for the ambulance. Then we have the playground equipment, the Bluegrass recreational products. That invoice came through. I'm just pointing and highlighting some of the big numbers.
One of them in the jail fund, Dorcas, that $2,900 on a medical claim to Flagey.
It was the one from last year. What we do, we get these bills in, we have to send them to the credit cards, we don't reprice, and it takes them a while to get them back to us.
Okay.
And then we can send them to the hospital.
Okay, all right.
I didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
And transfers. Okay, thank you. Have a motion by Bernard Ice, second by Jeff. All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next would be first reading of the zoning amendments. You guys received a copy at our last fiscal court meeting on the zoning, some changes to the zoning, dealing with the two changes that were recommended, amending the height of the fence from 5 feet to 7 feet, and then the accessibility improvements. I think some of the cities may have already approved it. You remember that?
Yeah. Yes, at the last meeting.
Need a motion to approve on first reading and advertise for a second.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Sam. Is there a second by Jeff? Further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
You don't know when the rest of them are going to come through?
I'm sure they've all been sent to the legislative bodies. I don't know if New Haven, Bloomfield.
Oh, okay.
See, we're a joint agency, so every agency has to do that unless they want something different. Next on the agenda, we're not necessarily ready for this, but I want to present to the court because I think Matthew's got to put it in an ordinance form. Unless this is good enough, I guess it would be good enough for first readings. You know, we follow the state fee codes for the commercial property. The state, since we decided to do that some time ago, they've changed their fees a couple of times, and we have to change our ordinance every time. You follow me? So what Logan and I suggested to the court was to change our ordinance to read, the fees for permits and inspections of all structures and systems not otherwise covered in section 5.1 shall be set forth in the most recent edition of the Kentucky Building Code. Instead of us changing the numbers every time. And by the way, Logan's had intended to be here today, but he has some kidney stones this morning in the hospital.
So what is he changing? Just the fees in this?
He's striking everything out with the numbers on the fees. And
So this is the old one, and he struck everything?
Took it out and put the one paragraph in.
Okay.
Basically following the state numbers, whatever the state numbers are.
But that means we don't look at those fee numbers anymore, like these,
You'll get a notification.
from 14 to 33% increases up.
That's the state. You followed, when you said you wanted to follow the state.
Well, I thought we was less than the state.
We were, but about 2 years ago, we went to the state level. You remember that?
I remember talking about it, but I remember us was going to be cheaper.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we did. Because we're, you know, the local contract, these are all commercial properties.
I don't know.
And the local contractors are very much happy with what we're doing here. We can turn a set of plans in about a week or less. They go to Frankfurt in 30 to 40 days. So why not be mirror the state fees and keep our building code office?
Well, you said it says residential right here. It went up.
That's the state residential. Our state, our residential is excluded from that.
So the only thing we're doing here is
Section
just
5.1
commercial.
excludes that,
Only thing we're gonna do here is just commercial.
the commercials.
None of this.
None of that. None of the residential right here,
All right.
right here. None of that. All this is commercial here.
It does say residential right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we excluded it out in our language here. But
okay.
you guys didn't want to change that, remember that?
I'd rather not do that, not
Yeah.
at that kind of a fee increase, that's 15% on the residential.
Oh, we're not doing residential.
That's
We're
what I'm
excluding that,
saying,
yeah, yeah, we're excluding that.
Okay.
Make a motion that we accept the recommendation to include the state price in
The
our.
language took, okay, thank you, Jeff. Is there a second to that? Second by Bernard Ice. Further discussion? All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carries. Pretty silent ayes there. It's pretty simple.
I don't like anytime they change wording.
Is that the first reading of? the
First reading.
ordinance?
And I still like looking at it.
Basically, we don't have to change the numbers in our ordinance every time you have to advertise for first and second and every. We're following the state numbers anyway
CPI.
for the fees associated with commercial.
Come through it.
And instead of changing the ordinance every time, state's changed twice in the last 2 years, or last 30 months. Okay, next,
They're out of money.
Discussion.
after the fact, yes, go ahead.
Can,
It's done deal with.
what I want to know is,
always go no.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll make another motion.
Yeah, I still want to be able to look at these fees though, before they just automatically increase, that's what I'm saying.
Logan's been good about giving you us copies when we get, and I get those as well.
And we can rescind this with another motion.
You can always amend this ordinance.
Okay. That's
But
good.
bear in mind, if you do that, you give them money, I mean, you want to keep your heads above water without raising taxes.
Now, this is true, but I don't want to gouge the guys out here. in the
They're
field.
tickled to death not having to run the frames.
Well, I mean, you're saying that, but I know a few of them personally that are tickled to death, but if next month they get another 2% or 2-cent increase, and then 3 months from now they get another, they're not gonna be very happy.
I understand that.
So-
I just think we need to
Talking
be
about-
physically responsible to look at it every time and decide this.
Yeah, instead of letting, yeah, I'm the same.
You know, in other words, that when the state goes up, and we know for 8 years, we kept our fees below the state.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, we've got to pull tax money out to keep the
I
department
just think we
afloat.
need to look at it
Okay.
and decide
I
how long as we
just want to know
go.
why we want to keep.
We're
it.
okay with that, but I'm like Sam, I just don't want every month it go up and we not be aware of it. And then 2 months later it goes up again, we not
Every
be
time it
aware
goes
of it.
up, I'll give you a copy.
That's what I want to see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not, and actually, you can go online and get that stuff too. Next would be a tax moratorium request. This request is from CWP Properties. Actually, this property has changed hands and now in the hands of the county attorney, Matthew Height. And he's going to be adding some new construction and additions to the property. And you guys have an amended copy that was in your mailbox. Questions on that portion of it?
No,
Okay, need a motion to approve the moratorium request.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Thank you. Motion's been made by Keith, second by Jerry Hahn. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next would be some board appointments. First, to the Bardstown Nelson County Air Board, James Nelson wishes to continue to serve on the Air Board. I've been have reports. Let me just do both of these on the Air Board. James Schaefer, both have been recommended by Mike Forsey, who's kind of the staffer involved in the Air Board. He said both members have been good participants and active in the Air Board. I'd like to see those.
UPS pilot.
Yes.
Okay.
One of them. Yeah, the other ones are retired.
Just have a record. Yeah, like a motion, accept that.
Both of those, Bernard.
Yes.
Okay, motion been made by Bernard Ice to accept both reappointments. Is there a second to that motion by Jerry Hahn? Discussion, Jeff?
Yeah, is this, are these appointments, are they fiscal court or is this for a judge? A judge appointment?
These are fiscal court. But the judge makes the appointment, but the court has to approve.
How many people's on this board?
Six, I believe. 5 or 6. I think we've got 3 appointments and Sid's got 3, I believe is what it is. I'd have to go back and look at the records to see. It was formed in 1960 something. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion carries. And Jeff, I have to update myself every time on all the appointments. We've got probably 30 or 40 appointments, and it's hard to remember, but I've got, and I've given you guys copies in years past, but I'll give everybody an update on the.
Who's on board?
Not just that, but what the fiscal court role is in the appointment process of each of these boards.
But there are some that are county judge appointments.
Without court approval.
Right, yeah.
He always gets us to cover in case something happens.
Right, he just wants our approval, and he'll say, well, y'all.
I like a team approach to life. If they go
Yeah,
south,
put it in front of y'all.
if they go south, I want y'all to go with me.
I am aware.
We need a bigger.
I didn't realize y'all took it that way. Okay, next would be extension to, appointment to the extension board. Joe Howard Rogers has been recommended. I don't know if you guys know Joe or not, real active in the
Feed America program.
and he does the,
He's a gardener.
master gardener, so I couldn't get it out. Tom Hart chose not to stay on.
Well, actually, he's on another board and you can't serve on 2.
Okay, sorry.
So it's the reason Tommy is not,
But he was a great member of the
Yes.
extension board.
yeah, he can't serve on both. So he had to be replaced.
Motion to
So,
approve, Sam?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second to that motion? Second by Jeff. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carried. And that is judge's appointment with fiscal court approval. I can remember some of those. Next would be, now this appointment comes from the hospitality group at the tourism board, so it's just really a pass-through for us. Todd Allen, to the Barstown Nelson County Tourist and Convention Board. Todd owns the bed and breakfast in behind the service station on North 3rd. He's got one also in Springfield, Kentucky. I guess he still have it.
Oh, Rosewood, or whatever it was called?
Yeah, beautiful building.
Yeah.
Beautiful building. And he's been active in the community as far as tourism since he bought that property. They thought he would make a good member to them. If I could get a motion to approve. Thank you, Jeff. Second by Bernard Ice. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Still have an opening on the Board of Adjustments in Jeff's district. I've approached a couple of folks. I got a couple feelers out, and I'll let you know. If you know of anybody that wants to serve on that, just let me know. Mr. Walker got off the board.
Yeah. He's a good one.
Yeah. Next would be a resolution in regards to the regional hazard mitigation plan. Joe, you want to give a little update why you need this approved?
Plaintiff Trail is currently working on updating the regional hazard mitigation plan, and what it requires is we from Nelson County have submitted to them any hazards or updates to hazards that we may have, as well as our means of mitigating those hazards. And they'll incorporate that into the regional plan and put that back out to all the counties. So this resolution basically.
And I actually believe over the years that county and cities have gotten some grants because of being a participant in that 8-county organization. For instance, I think the city got, correct me if I'm wrong, a grant to put the utilities underground on Guthrie Drive and so forth. I think some of that's some of the hazard mitigation monies that come through. Jerry, we were able to buy a guy's house up there in Chaplin about 10, 12 years ago. That was sliding off a hill, Summers, I believe it was, up on,
It's up by Love Ridge area. Up in that area.
past Love Ridge, Hope Ridge.
Yeah,
Hope Ridge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a log cabin.
Log cabin thing, yeah. That was part of the hazardous mitigation money that bought that guy's house out. He was able to not lose everything he worked for his whole life because the mountain started, or the hill started sliding by the Chapman River. Remember that? You weren't even matched, I don't think, when that happened.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all even done anything
Put
to
that
it,
$10 on that.
but I remembered that.
We both were.
Were you on the golf course?
Yes.
Okay. So,
I'm gonna frame that one.
okay. Need a motion to approve resolution as presented. Thank you, Jerry. Motion been made by Jerry Hahn. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Second by Sam Hutchins. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next will be a resolution in regards to the parochial transportation this year. I'm in the process of, we've advertised for that, those folks to submit those invoices to us. I think Nelson County's we've already paid Nelson County and Barstown and Bethlenem's in the process of getting those to me. Need a motion to approve so I can submit this to Frankfurt.
I'll make the motion.
Motion has been made by Bernard Ice. Is there a second? Second by Jerry Hahn. Jerry's on the ball today. Thank you, Jerry. All approved, say aye. Disapprove, motion carries. You got a delayed reaction down here.
He's still thinking about that.
Last year, this past year, we actually received about 31,000 more than we had anticipated in our budget. Right, for the reimbursement. Got us a little closer to being whole than we were in the years past. So
How much is this is reimbursed?
This year was 198,000, 196,000 or so.
How much money?
Out of 220, 210, 220, 220 for that, yeah. 230, depends on.
State reimburses that much, 100?
Yeah. Well, in some years past, depends on how many people are participating statewide. We were getting maybe only 60 or 70% of the money. But last year we got a larger percentage because of maybe the participation was down. And it could have been, I think the General Assembly might have added a couple $100,000 more to the pot that might have helped us.
Then it gets divided to all counties.
All the whole state. When Governor Patton was governor, he proposed to put that into the budget. The county was funding 100% of that cost out of the local taxpayers. 100%. Most people don't remember that, but you got that history. And so he phased it in over the years, and he got us whole over a 4-year period. He got us where we got 100% of the money. And we went in 100% of the money for about 6 years, and then all of a sudden, the people submitting the applications grew, and the cost of doing business grew, fuel and everything else, so the money didn't go around as far.
Everybody was trying to jump on it once they knew it was going on.
Yeah, indeed, and so it's still better than it was back in 1994, 95. Okay, jail report.
Okay, today we have a total of 123 inmates. We have 2 in Hardin County. We have 4 on home incarceration. We have 35 state inmates. We have 8 serving weekends. So we got an in-house total of 109 inmates. That's all I had to report. Everything
That's
else.
a good report when there's no
No.
bad news. EMS report, Joe.
Should have your report in your mailbox. 571 calls made for the month of March. 118 of those were non-transport. Still holding about 19.8 calls a day for the staff. It keeps them pretty hot, pretty busy. That would be all on that. Watching on the EM side, we are continually watch the high water issues. The road department's been diligent on keeping the road barriers up when needed, high water signs up where needed. Expect another high water event probably Thursday night or Friday, so we'll be on top of that. Want to talk about?
Your little post-it note that you gave me here.
Yeah.
I'll throw it away, Judge.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'd like to get court approval. We have a little money left in the budget for our vehicle replacement. I'd like to get court approval to spec and advertise for a remount of one of our vehicles or an equivalent to one of our vehicles. We have 2 trucks that are very high mileage, and the 4-wheel drive is a 3rd truck that really paid for itself this past winter. So I'm looking at a remount and a replacement in the next budget.
Well, the replacement for the 4-wheel drive will come in the next budget.
Next budget.
Now, in our current budget, we only have a portion of enough.
Right.
So any revenue that we will be spending will have to come out of July 1st going forward on this remount that we're talking about today. Follow what I'm saying? Guys, we'll use part of the money we have right now, going into, we'll run our budgeting, we'll budget the rest of them out in a line item for our new budget, but it takes so many months to get these, I guess, remounts done, that's why you have to do it.
It'd be after July 1, but we'd have that money
Yeah.
from this year.
How much are you talking about, though? Just
About 50,
50-ish?
55,
Yeah.
Total, how much you got?
about 28, 30.
20.
So you're gonna try to get it on four-wheel drive, if possible.
That's the next coming
One in
budget.
the budget that next year.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, go to revamp, get on your four-wheel drive.
Not on this one.
We're going to do a brand, we're going to advertise for a brand new four-wheel drive,
Okay,
period. Right? No,
For next
That's
year.
what we talked about for next year.
good.
I make a motion for him.
Okay, motion to advertise for a remount for the ambulance service, and second by Keith Metcalf. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carries.
Thanks.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we're not going to pay for that out this year,
No.
fully out this year, but because there's not enough money to do that. Landfill solid waste report.
Okay, so today for our 5-year solid waste plan, we're going through this process. On March 25th was the last day for people to make comments on our amendment. We're amending our plan to say we're going to expand our landfill. I go through this every time with you guys to make sure everybody knows. Dean, I did not receive comments, did you?
I did not either.
Oral nor written. Therefore, that's the reason we did not have to have a public hearing today. So moving forward, we need to adopt a resolution. I think I may have sent you guys, I know Dean has a copy.
You printed out a copy for me, didn't you?
I got them right here if not.
You guys haven't did an email.
I'll just email everybody, but I didn't. All the resolution is saying is, it's an amendment.
Brad's
to our
talked
plan.
about this for the last couple of meetings.
Correct. And basically, it's very specific saying, yes, we are going to amend our plan to include the expansion, and it gets very specific on the volume and the tonnage. That's just a process. Once you guys approve this amendment, then we send it up to the state. We got to wait official acceptance by them, then we can actually then submit our notice of intent to expand.
But our motion has to say that the current plan is out of date, correct?
No,
And,
Your motion would be to approve the resolution, which states it.
Yes.
all right.
And
Then a motion to approve the resolution. Thank you, Ted.
And
Second?
I'll second.
Second by Sam Hutchins. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carried.
okay,
That's just the beginning, isn't it?
that is the beginning. I will not have any here left.
Next would be the flow meter you want to talk about?
That is correct.
You guys get a copy of that?
You guys got to copy that. And what this is specifically is for our leachate. We pump it all the way to the city of Bardstown. How we pay for that is based on volume and it's based on concentration. They come and test. Some months we test it to figure the concentration and stuff. Solely based on flow. Over the years, we've always used what they call a drawdown test. You basically time it with a clock, do it every so often. We've discussed this over the years. It's an expensive venture to do, but I think in the long run, it'll pay itself off. It's about $8,000 for this meter. This is what the city of Bloomfield, this is their exact meter that they use on what they're pumping to the city of Bardstown. I called, what's his name? The guy in the city of Bloomfield.
Get one that runs in
Ricky
low
Jewell.
gear. Get one that runs in low gear on.
No. Ricky Jewell has had it for 2 or 3 years, and he hasn't had any complaints of it.
You know what I mean?
Basically, it sits
Put a
in
little
the
salt on
pipe itself, determines the depth of the flow, plus velocity, and from that you can figure out how much is going through it.
They know all that.
So that's just a quick synopsis for the public and you guys on what.
Start costing us more, can we take it out?
That is the drawback.
Let us
It's a flip of a quarter. But
I would recommend this.
end of the day, it is what it is. We owe what we owe.
Yeah. Motion to approve to spend that much money. Motion been made by Keith, second by Bernard Ice. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carried.
All right, well, we're spending money.
Me, did you get a number on that? Did he give you a copy of that?
Yes, I'll bring it.
Oh, you got a copy of it. It's $7,856. That's a little above what we normally would spend on expenditure without court approval.
Since bulky items going on, and I'll wait till Jim does his report to give you guys specifics, but I probably need to get also approval from you guys because it's over our threshold for the tire removal. I tried to get quotes from people. There's one company that gave it to us, and that's Liberty Tire. You guys may remember seeing them on the news here. Yes, several months ago. But in all honesty, they're the one company that's big enough that actually does this. They'll come to your site and haul them away. A lot of people just want to come and cut them, or they only want to haul away a couple thousand. I mean, we're talking 10,000 tires we got to haul away. That said and done, it's about, last year I think we spent a little over $14,000, I think. So I've got a PO for $14,800, about what I'm guessing is going to come.
Haven't got as many tires we did last year.
No, not right now. I'll go through, I'll have to look at the numbers, but I think we're going to come in under, but as soon as I say that, I'm going to jinx
All right,
myself.
They'll have a busy week this week.
We got 2 weeks left down in Boston and the 245
Down
area.
Wade's got 200 in his front yard.
So I don't know Keith till it's in. But what I'd like to do with these guys is wait till the very end, because once they come, they send truck after truck
It's
after
not
truck.
per tire, it's 14,000.
You know, in the past, it was per ton, and they switched it this year for some reason to per load. And if you figure out, because I had to pin them down with what size truck are you bringing. So they're guaranteeing anywhere from 13 to 15 tons. Actually, it's a better deal this year than it was last year. So we pay $1,850 per truckload.
Are they gonna pull in and weigh? Is that how you're gonna determine the
Like the tonnage we did last year, this year's per load.
per load?
So I don't care, we keep sticking them to the pops
We're
at the top.
loading?
Yes, we always load. We use that old grade off,
Yeah.
and we just load them ourselves.
So you think it's fair? Or you think it's more fair than last year?
I think it's more fair than last year.
Don't have much choice, it's always.
The only choice you got is to cut them and put them in the land.
Yeah.
That is a monumental.
Labor intensive.
Thank God this guy bid on them, right?
Yes.
Need a motion to approve the proposal of, what was the name of the company there?
Liberty Tire.
Liberty Tire, not Martin, used another company there one time. Motion to approve by Jeff Lear, second by Sam Hutchins. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove, the motion will carry.
The only thing, Dean, you got the roadside cleanup going on?
Roadside cleanup will be, it's on the agenda from April 9th to May 4th. So anybody that wants to sign up on that will need to contact Greta
April 9th,
to the May the 4th.
Ready for it.
Okay? Brad, is that it?
Yeah, we'll get a book out in June.
Jim, road department report?
Yeah, in the last 2 weeks, basically, that's all we've done is bulk item pickup. We're in the third section of the county. On the 245 area, we're heading towards the west side of, we started on the west side of Louisville Road and runs to the north side of Bluegrass Parkway in Nelsonville area. It's going to take about a week to get the rest of it. On Brad's numbers, based on them and what Kroger's telling me, we're way down, we're not way down, but down on tonnage, and so that's good. Not that much stuff's out there. So once we get done with bulky item, we've got a lot of work orders to clean some repair yard and ditch damage work as a result of all the plowing of the snow type things. So there's a lot of stuff there. If you all have anything, I'd appreciate a written work order. Lets us keep up with it a lot better versus a phone call that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle. So we try to write it down, but we did go, one day we didn't pick up, we went to flagger training. All the men need to be certified to flag, and Magle puts on a training session for us. They do a good job. Everybody went to that course, and it looks like they all passed. You got to take a written test. Pesticide training, we sent 5 employees, 4 passed, 1 didn't pass. Mr. Goss, I told him he'll have to go back and take the test again. He's all tore up about that, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
he's a pretty good fellow, I'm surprised.
But anyway, that's pesticide. We
Former firefighter.
so.
Good.
The only reason I wanted to mention, he think I was kidding him. I thought if I mentioned it in court, he'll get him tore up.
Oh, you'll get him, you'll tore up. As long as Jimmy don't report, Jimmy don't report it.
Other than that, that's it, guys. If
Hey,
you got any other things.
you don't ever throw rocks at those kind of people, because you might have to take that test again one day yourself and not pass it. Anytime.
It's not a real simple
Yeah, no,
test. It's a pesticide's can be a complicated subject. It's you know, it's a thing that has to be managed right and handled right. And
We need to
Kroger went, and one of our foremen went, so they passed. And do what now?
Woodlawn Road.
He got a couple paving jobs that we want to put on the list that haven't been officially approved. One of them is Sam's District, Woodlawn Road. Paving from 605 to Marks Lane, and then the Woodlawn
How much is that,
connector.
Jim?
Total price, Dean, is $46,000, but we're getting a $22,000 credit from Mago, so you're looking at, what, $25,000, something to that effect?
About $24,000.
Yeah.
That leaves you enough to do your fire.
Yeah.
Well, first we need a motion to approve Woodlawn Road as identified with Jim.
Woodlawn Road and Woodlawn Connector, which is
Woodlawn
the little
Connector.
short
That
section.
finishes that entire little corridor there. So I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sam, second by Jerry Hahn. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove, motion carries. That comes out of what Sam's current fiscal year's money. So that leaves him about, I think, about 12,
12.
$10,000 or $12,000.
But you just be direct to me.
I've got a plan for that, actually.
He's got a plan for $6,000 of that.
Actually, I've worked with Marlon on a couple of fire hydrants out in the Botland area there, just past the new fire station, and which would be $6,000. So I'd like to get that approved as well.
What we need in a motion would be to transfer from the occupational tax money to the general fund to pay for those fire hydrants. I think it's where we pay for that, Rhonda. $6,000 to pay for that out of his allotment for the blacktop. We've done Bernard's district like that a few times with different things.
And I will make that motion if I get somebody to second.
Motion been made by Sam Hutchins, second by Bernard Ike to pay for those 2 fire hydrants. All approved, say aye.
And Marlon will give me direction.
Jim, what's
Disapprove, motion carries. Yes, Jim, you had a question, I'm
I
sorry.
just want to know how many houses will that affect?
It'll affect everything from, if you're going out 150 from below the 150 quick
We
stop,
had to get Chester.
past the Christian church and all of Bishop Lane. So honestly, I don't know how many houses, I'd guess 150.
It is considerable. I was out there,
And
boots on the ground measuring yesterday, and he is correct. It takes Manton Road down past Greer Lane.
part of
most
Greer
those
Lane.
houses that are in that straight stretch, up Greer Lane about probably 800 feet. So it'll be a good move in that area.
I would think that with the one, there are 2 hydrants existing now, one on Bishop, one at the Christian church. And with the radius of each of those at 1,000 feet with these intersected, it'll take in a great big area.
Where are the fire hydrants going to be installed?
One would be actually right in front of Mark Young's drive, okay? One, which the city is going to put in front of the quick stop. They're taking care of that themselves. And then the second one that I'm going to do will be somewhere on Manton Road in the Greer Lane area. Depends on the footages as to
That's a lot of houses
exactly,
down through there.
where it's going to go.
They cover Bishop Lane and
And
all
then
those houses.
there's one now in the cul-de-sac on Bishop Lane, so if it gets part of Ivy Court. So if you calculate that 1,000-foot radius around each of those, it takes in a great big area out there.
Good idea. I want to commend you. for that.
And I do something on Greer Lane, but it's a 4-inch line and you can't get the flow you need, so I'm kind of,
You can't put one on?
no, you're restricted to this. And it gets the majority of the homes in that area, it actually will take care of with what we've got.
It's a good move for the residents in that area, and I
Yeah.
tell the court, the court and the city government.
It does not get mined, by the way.
Okay. Under old and new business,
Did you want?
I got one, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I got Joe Livers Road I want to get in Masters.
Not necessary, Jim.
you got Joe Livers' estimate there, Jim.
$24,566 my estimate on that one.
Joe Livers Road,
County Route 1.
24, what was that?
566.
24,600.
Okay, Keith does have that much money in his account, so I would recommend approval of that. If I can get a motion, Keith.
I'll make the motion.
Motion been made,
I'll second.
second by Sam. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion carries.
So do I have to
So-
get
so-
Chester Hahn Road approved and I'm gonna get blacktop.
Do what kind of money do you have, Jeff? I
Okay.
don't have my report in front of me.
Jerry, I show you obligated $126,000 this year.
Yeah, I think you're over it, Gary.
You want to-
So we're doing last year's money.
Last year.
Oh,
We're
okay.
not doing
This
this
year,
year's
we
money.
can't do
Well, that's
this
big
till
say,
July.
it's 36,000.
This is money they haven't,
They haven't expended from last year.
And I didn't have any left over?
I've got a
We're
report.
over.
No, I don't think we do, but I'll double check that.
Chester Hunt, I got measured here is $36,000.
I don't think he's got it, but I'll we'll bring it up next court meeting. I'll double check, but I don't want to commit money that you don't.
We've actually spent $123,242 in county funds this year so far on you, Jerry.
Now, we still have some state roads that Mago hasn't blacktopped.
That's correct.
That's still pending, so I'll give you a full report on that.
They actually started yesterday.
They did some.
Yeah, they did Greer Lane yesterday, and so they've started.
I've not got Allen Run yet.
And they still got Potter Shop, I believe.
Still got one mine too.
Yeah, still got Potter
See,
Shop.
Jerry, you
Okay.
spent most of your money on Ackerman Lane and Waldridge Road. You spent almost $100,000 on those two roads.
I'm just trying to get my rock roads blacktop.
I'll double check with you. Of course, you know, the end result of the budget, of the general assembly this year, we're gonna be about $300,000 short,
You said we don't get
It's a little less than that, Judge.
270,000.
Well,
Sam,
that's
give me
all up
some of
there.
yours.
265, 70,000.
That's a whole lot there.
Every dollar's a dollar.
Knows how it goes over on it.
But that's just in a county road. There's other funds that we've, there's probably out of the discretionary, there's $200,000 short there. Out of the rural secondary program, it's probably gonna be close to 400,000.
We just need to beg harder.
Just want everybody to know. We're working on a budget right now. Now, I know you are gonna change that line, I know you are. I'm gonna try to come up with a
Yeah,
compromise.
Jeff's already got a theory, doesn't he, Jeff?
I got a couple of them.
I will be presenting the budget to you guys April 21st.
Next
So if you have any brilliant ideas, I'd like to hear them before we finalize. It would help. Chief Howard wants to make a presentation.
Get to me real quick, Judge, I wasn't expecting to be that quick, but let me grab some information here. And I'll give this to the media. This is our 2014 yearbook, we call it. It's just a little bit of year-end review for us. I apologize that it got out of the first quarter before we could get it to you. This is had a little bit of trouble getting it to the printers, getting everything lined up the way we want, and I'll just want to touch on a couple of topics that we've got here, and I'll pass some others out as we move along if anyone else wants one. There's a letter inside for me, but on the opposite page is the run reports with the Bardstown Fire Department making 301 total calls. The Bardstown Nelson County Volunteer Fire Department having 214 for our combined total of 515. It breaks those down there, and of course, as you look at them, false alarms are up there in calls. Lots of different categories. Alarm activated, no fire, false alarm, but you can add up the other ones to see vehicle extrications and accidents. So, on the next page, you'll see the training hours that I'm always very proud to see that our roster broken down into man hours, put in 3,476 hours of training time in 2014. We have a new training director that we'll get to here in a minute that I believe is going to allow our members to gain training in-house and out-house on better schedules, and I think we'll be poised to be able to actually increase that, voluntarily increase, not mandatory on the members, but voluntarily increase that number for next year. Some of the noteworthy items they has listed in here was the groundbreaking of the construction of Station 4, which we know that substation is complete now except for the outside grade work and parking lot. We hope to have an open house on that soon, but we would like to get grade work. The rains this spring are pushing us out a little further than we thought it would have. But we'll get follow-up in 2015 with the actual completion of the station. The truck committee that was formed, the truck is in place in that station out there and ready to respond. Of course, we always have a couple little additions that we find as we get it that close, but very much so complete. New members it talks about, and we'll view them on the other page. Grant writing opportunities that we're working on, community work, smoke detectors, and we've gained another $300 donation, actual grant to continue being able to put up smoke detectors for those people who can't afford them or maybe can't install them themselves, and we go out and do that work for them. A couple of members that deserve recognition: John Roby Sr., retiring in 2014, serving 33 years on the department. Both of his sons served the department, so just a really great guy. Really looked toward John as a mentor in my younger years. Can't say enough about him. Mr. Mo Shams, retiring in 2004 with 10 years of service. Also reaching another milestone in that I believe he was 70 years old when he came to us, and he was 80 or almost 80 years old when he retired. And the man would keep up with me. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Still rides a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he still visits the station almost on a daily basis. So we're very fortunate with our members. Under the new recruits, you do see Dale Charles, who is our new training director. He is not from Nelson County. He is from Spencer County. Took application and job placement with the city of Bardstown as a full-time firefighter and training coordinator. So he was the one I was talking about, has really done great for our training, becomes very highly qualified, and is closing on a contract with the house to move to Nelson County. So it was great to see that ambition. Reverend Eldon Morgan, it doesn't say that, but we know him as Rev, was on the department back in the 80s, left Kentucky in the 90s, early 90s in Florida for a congregation, has come back and is our chaplain again. You see some other recruits here: Michael Morris, Craig Ruley. Unfortunately, Charlie Tipton, Alex Thompson, we did not have a photo of. These members just came on in 2014, later on in the year actually, and to their credit, we have some of those that are getting ready to reach their 150-hour certification to be a Kentucky certified firefighter in that amount of time. So they're really dedicated. Some miscellaneous photos, and then on the back you'll see the roster of the department as it ended in 2014. Obviously, it continues to be hard for us to keep and retain, to get and retain volunteers, as it always is. We've been very fortunate. You're hearing people that have been here 10 years, 30 years, that have come back, that are moving to our community. I think we've got a good thing going, but volunteerism is hard. So if you see these guys, just give them a little word of appreciation for what they do on not only on the fires, but on a daily basis, almost training and preparing for that. And obviously, if you know someone, I'll put the plea out to those of you that are present today and to the media. If you know someone, absolutely ask if they're interested in the fire department. Have them come to us. The substation areas are always a hard time for us. We just built a new substation out on 150, and unfortunately we've lost a couple of members in that area due to legitimate reasons. It's not that they've been a long time member. So we need to keep because when you come in as a firefighter, it takes you several years to gain, could take you up to 2 years to gain that 150-hour certification. So,
That's a lot of hours to get.
Yeah, and we have to keep that.
Now, is there a quantity of hours you can You get some training, and then you can go out, but you're limited what you can
Correct.
do.
At a bare minimum, you have a 20-hour course that you have to complete in basics, and then you'll have a respiratory protection plan that we require that meets NFPA and OSHA requirements to be able to use a SCBA before you can even go into an atmosphere that could be dangerous to your life or health. And then after that, it would be limited. To be able to make those responses. So it's pretty intense.
They can do support until they get the rest of their training. Basically.
Correct. And then 150, they have
150 hours is a long
They
time.
have to attain their 150 hours in 2 years, or it starts counting against us in Frankfurt because of our roster. We can't have too many people on the roster that are not.
It's a lot of hours.
And unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for us, the minimum requirements are never a problem for us with our recruits and things. We have some people that their jobs change or they have a hard time meeting some of those, but by way of far, most of our members make far more than the minimum requirements. So, any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Magistrates, you have anything else? Anybody in the audience have anything you want to discuss, talk about? Otherwise, entertain a motion to adjourn. A motion been made by Bernard Ice, second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? Motion carried. On delay reaction.